I believe that we can start because I was informed that today there will be 5 persons, but I can see only 4 participants of today's translation. So I believe that our latecomer student will be here soon. First of all, please, could you put plus in our chat if you can hear me clearly, if you can see me, because it's very important part. I need for everybody to hear me clearly. Okay. Okay. Very good. So I hope that everybody hear me clearly, and we could start our today's lecture about public speaking and about all useful things that could be properly used in public speaking skills. So let me start my presentation. Now I will share my laptop screen with you. Where is it? Okay. So let's start. Today we are speaking about public speaking. Sorry me for that calambre. Let me first of all introduce myself. Who am I? What am I? And which way did I go? My name is Stanislav Mushtalov, but if you want to ask me something, you could ask me like Stas. Stas is my shortened form of name. My age is almost 32 years. My grade is Bachelor of Russian Philology. I graduated university in 2011. My current occupation is event host, author of text, screenwriter, and also, of course, tutor for public speaking from time to time. My ex-occupations are bartender, camp counselor, facility interpreter. So as you can see, I'm pretty skillful in public speaking because all my business activities, all my professional life somehow related with public speaking sphere. And after that preamble, we could continue our education course, our short education course for today. And our first subject is key skills for being cool speaker. Okay, so everybody understands those key skills in unique way for themselves, but I discovered maybe 3 or 4 critical key skills for being cool speaker. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, the huge importance of self, my friends. Now I will tell you about self-presentation, self-confidence, and self-love. Public speaking is very important nowadays in a sphere of sales, in a sphere of education, and of course in sphere of startups, because if you will try to find your investor, you of course should make a proper presentation of your product, and those 3 parts of self-importance are critically important. Self-presentation is the basement for all good and cool public speakers, because without proper self-presentation, nobody will understand that you are a skillful person, you have a good experience, you have a lot of useful skills inside your mind that could be useful for your potential business partner. Self-confidence is the second part in that basement, because without self-confidence you will have a weak speech, you will have low level of credit. Probably if you will have a self-confidence low level, nobody will believe you, and everybody will see that probably you will try to deceive me. Yeah, you are not self-confident, you can't believe in your own words. So in that way, self-confidence is a pretty important key point. And of course, self-love. Believe me, when you love what you did every day, what you do every day, when you love your occupation, when you love your ideas that you would like to sell, or ideas that you'd like to share with your students, everybody will mark that. And self-love, of course, is a really important, part and really important skill, because self-love is a skill. You could train it. So please love yourself, be confident in yourself, and of course make a good self-presentation. Let's go further, and the second point is a sense of humor. You know that probably when you come for some university lecture, or you come for some, I don't know, some business meeting, and there is a public speaker, it may be a professor or some presenter of product, and he starts his presentation, he starts his lecture, and he says a lot, but he says only naked information, only some facts, only some numbers. He shows you diagrams, schedules, other things. And finally, only thing that you can thinking about is okay, how soon I can go home, and please let me sleep, let me sleep a little bit. So in that case, my friends, it's really important for all public speakers to have a good sense of humor. Use jokes, use some funny stories, implement them into your speech, and please do not be afraid, because all people love jokes. Some light jokes. Do not make a total comedy stand-up from your presentation. Just a light joke, and everybody will be pleased. Next point is, I'm sorry, some troubles with my mouse. Improvisation mastery, yes, of course. Improvisation mastery is a really important skill in case of avoiding some inconvenient situations. So, for example, you start your lecture or start your presentation, and every time in every auditory you will find a person with probably awkward questions, or some strange questions, or with strange behavior. Nobody have an insurance from that, but you must be ready to make some kind of improvisation. So probably that person will ask you about they'll ask you about some a sphere that you are not really good informed, or about some knowledge that you are not involved to, or something like that. So please, my friends, be ready for some improvisation, use jokes, use some distraction of their attention. Be an improvisator, be an actor a little bit, and it will be pretty useful for your public skills. And the next point is control of non-verbal communication. You know that your body is a second language of your life. So your first language is your native language, or maybe the language which you're using for making a presentation. But if you can control your thoughts, and if you can control your language skills, you never control your body, or you hardly control it. So you need to train to be a controller, a master of your body language. So take a look at your gestures, take a look at your postures, and other things. I will explain a little bit more about nonverbal communication on our next pages of presentation. So there are key skills for being a cool presenter, and my explanation about that, so we can go further. Okay, drawing attention. The attention of your listeners is one of the most important parts of your working like a presenter. So what should you do to draw attention from the auditory in front of you? First, and probably a little bit funny point, is accessorize in your look. You know that one of my theories is people are predators, the predators of high level. And you could use some biological knowledge about predators, about their behavior, and through this knowledge, through these science facts, you could understand people's behavior, especially behavior of a crowd. So accessories in your look are pretty useful for making attention drawing from the auditory. For example, it could be some kind of original jewelry for ladies, like some necklace, or it could be some brooch on your jacket or something like that. And for men, of course, it could be some for example, bright tie. Remember Donald Trump, ex-president of USA, he always wear the red tie. He explained that, okay, red color is a color of a winner, but everybody understands that it's just a piece of his look that every time draw attention of the public. Or you could use a really beautiful thing for all men. It's a really good accessorize. Pocket square here in your jacket. You could put in that pocket some brilliant and beautiful pocket square. It will add some fancy points to your look, and of course it will draw attention. So please do not forget about some bright accessories. I'm sorry, it should not be a lot of accessories, only one or two. And believe me, it will be really helpful in a task of drawing attention to a person. Let's move further, and here is another trick: sudden movements. Remember, I already said about people's behavior through the prism of understanding that people are predators. What's the main key point of predators' behavior? Predators are hunters, and they are not interested totally in some quiet victim. But if they see some movement, okay, all attention will be paid to that moving object. You could simply check this fact with playing with your cat, for example. If you show the cat a toy, no reaction. But if you will move toy a little bit, cat will draw all attention to that item. So in that case, if you will make a public presentation, or if you will make some presentation on business meeting, if you are in process of your public speaking and telling some facts, do not forget from time to time make some sudden movements. Like, for example, that I tell you something, okay, something like that. Use your hands, use some sudden blinks like this, but be sure that those sudden movements will come in proper way. Try not to make your opponent or your auditory oh no, our public speaker is a little bit creepy. Those sudden movements make me weird. So please remember about sudden movements. They are a really good attractors of attention. Let's move further, and here are links to publicly available sources of information within your speech. People always feels more comfortable and removing stress when they are on the same wave with a public speaker, with a professor in university, with a business partner on a meeting, etc., etc. So if you will make a presentation for your auditory, you could use some external links for publicly available sources of information. So, for example, you will tell about some new business project that you would like to sell, or you'd like to find investors for that project. And of course, you could use some related information in publicly available sources like Instagram, Facebook, some newspapers, news magazines, news programs, etc., etc. But be sure that this publicly available source of information and information which consists in it is related to your subject of your public speaking theme, because all people are really pleased when you say something like that, okay, this is my new project, and the main issue in my project is like this and this. Also, you could check, you could read about this ideas in Instagram on that page. Here, this blogger made a huge review about that. So everybody will be relaxed because you making an external links for publicly available source of information, and probably during the meeting or after meeting they will check social networks and they will read a little bit more. But the main purpose of that point is to give people some relaxation. You know, you must always bring your auditory tense and relaxation, and make it one by one. Okay, I hope it is clear, and we can go further. Another point: modified repeat multiple form. What exactly does it mean? Modified repeat multiple form. There is a science fact, a pretty nice fact, that all people will understand information and they will remember that information only after they will hear or read about that information 4 times, not less, 4 times. So I checked that fact, and indeed, if I will read some news article, or I will read some science article about some issue, I will understand it clearly, and I will remember all points from that article after 4 times reading. Make the same thing for your auditory. Please input some critically important idea of your speech in your presentation and repeat it 4 times. But please be sure that you will not make it with the same words 4 times. Change the form, change the words, add some idioms, some phraseologisms, change the text, and everybody again will be pleased. So hide your main idea under that modified repeats multiplied 4 times. Remember that, and everybody will remember what you'll try to tell them. Okay, let's go further. And the precision of vocabulary. What does it mean, the precision of vocabulary? If you will remember some public presentations or some lectures, even in university, for example, some teachers, some professors use a really a general vocabulary, general words to describe some trouble, to describe some situation. It's quite difficult to understand the main purpose, the main idea, the sense of that problem. So if they will use the precise words, the concrete things to describe the situation, everything will be more clear, everything will be more understandable. So in that case, please avoid that general vocabulary. General vocabulary, it's the vocabulary you use when you are on exam and you will try to explain professor something that you are not understand fully, or something you really don't know. So please avoid that general vocabulary. Use only the precise words, describe the situation clearly, and everybody will be happy. And of course, one important thing after drawing attention, I should tell you about reset of attention. You know, holding people in constant tension is not a good strategy for public speaker. If you want to hold their attention in your hand, hold their attention at your person during all your public action, please sometime make a reset. Tell a joke, tell some story that only just a little bit related with the subject of your public speaking activity, with your subject of all facts that you are telling them. So please do not forget, make reset, make total reboot of people's attention, and of course give them 1 or 2 minutes just to relax, because whole time attention is not useful. It could bring harm for your image like a public speaker. Do not forget about it, and your listeners will be very thankful for you. Okay, that was all about drawing attention and its key points, and let's go further to the next page of my presentation. Here we come to self-confidence. Yeah, self-confidence is a pretty important quality of all public speakers. Let's see what are the points of self-confidence. Proper and comfortable clothes. Probably it's obvious, but from time to time people forget about that point, and I see some public speakers with really tight jackets or some tight suits, tight trousers, and etc., etc. Even if you have some not comfortable shoes, it will bring harm to your level of self-confidence, because when you feel that something wrong, when you feel that no, my tie is tightly, the knot is too tight, or probably I can't breathe, it will increase the level of your stress, and the stress is the main decreaser of self-confidence level. So please, friends, remember every time when you are ready for public speaking activity, use a proper clothes for some formal action on a stage in front of some bosses. Of course, you will need a suit and tie. And if you will come for making lecture to students, you can assemble a what I call a hipster look. Be a hipsters, and all borders between you and auditory will disappear. Okay, that's about proper and comfortable clothes. And every time, please remember about your shoes. Comfortable shoes. This is a really critical point. Some pain in your legs could provoke a panic attack. I'm not joking. It's a medical fact. Believe me. Okay, second point is proper vocabulary. Okay, if you will come for making some science presentation, of course, you will use one vocabulary. Or if you will make a presentation in front of friends, for example, you will use another vocabulary. In that case, you could always choose words wisely for people who want to hear some or another words. For bosses and high position persons, there are one words, and for your friends there are another words. But if you are a skillful public speaker, and if you afraid nothing, you could somehow make a mixture. So you can use non-formal vocabulary for formal situation, and probably formal vocabulary for informal situation, like in a joking way. So that's about proper vocabulary. Proper vocabulary will provide you another level of self-confidence, because you will know what you shall talking about, what you shall explain. Next point is muscle relaxation. Oh my, Stanislav, why do you say us about muscle relaxation? Because it's critical point. It's another critical point of being a good presenter, of being a good public speaker. Again, I will remember basic theology, and I will remember some body language, and I will remember your brain activity. So I will tell you about one thing. If you have some muscle tension here in your neck, or if you have some muscle tension here in shoulders, or even here, like in shoulders and partly here in the upper part of your chest, you will receive a huge decreasing of your self-confidence level. Why so? Because if you are in inconvenient position, you have muscle tension, in the upper part of your body, your brain, under his conscious, will understand it like, okay, we are in danger, we should run, we should hide, we should stop that threatening activity, etc., etc. In that case, please trick your own brain. Bring yourself a relaxation. Do not forget to relax your neck, relax your shoulders, relax probably your legs. Your body will say you thank you for that, and of course you will feel more comfortable, and your level of self-confidence increase. Next point is, they only people after all. Every time people asks me about that, okay, I have a big level of anxiety in front of crowd of people. I have a big level of fear. It's not so convenient for me. And the main thing that you should understand is all people in front of you, they are just like you. They will not hurt you. They will not make you any harm. They are not dangerous at all. They are here only because they want to hear you. They want to listen what you'd like to tell them, or what you'd like to share with them. In that case, please remove all fears. Remember, only people, they are the same like you, and you are on the same level of communication. It will be a little bit difficult to understand. Yeah, I know that. But if you will understand that fact, it will help you to remove all anxiety of public speaking, and and you could be close to your auditory. Okay, that was all about self-confidence, and we could move further. Non-verbal communication. As I promised, I will tell you a little bit more about your body language, and all points that are related with it, because it's a really interesting subject, and probably it could be the subject of a whole new lecture, because today we are just speaking about some general options. Okay, non-verbal communication. Posture. Okay, your posture is a really important sign that you are a self-confident man, that tell some really important information, and of course, self-confident public speaker always have a self-confident posture. What should it be? You must stay properly on both your legs. Do not push the weight on the left leg, on the right leg. No, no, no. Don't do that. All your legs must be straight. And of course, you should not show your back to auditory, because somebody could consider it like an offense. Please avoid that. And from time to time, of course, you could stay like aside to your auditory. You can think about something and then make, okay, and let me continue. That's like that. If you want to make a really self-confident posture, if you will want to make a posture of a winner, you could stay like one leg a little bit backward and one leg a little bit forward, and you could push your own weight to your leg that stands forward. Okay, it will bring you, first of all, some aggressive confidence, and you will suppress a little bit your auditory, and they will understand, okay, oh yeah, here is a leader, he has some aggressive posture, so okay, probably he will say us some useful information. So that's about posture. And next point is gestures. Watch your hands. Uh, my hands are disappearing. What a trigger, what a magic. Uh, Gestures is one of the most useful instruments and tools for public speaker, because you could control crowd in non-verbal communication by your hands. There are simple ways to do that. So, for example, this is please calm down, shut up, or something like this. This is relax, please be relaxed, stay cool, everything is okay. Open arms, this is a sign that you have a big credit for all people here. You believe them, and you are not fear them. So please use your arms. You could read a little bit about that in internet. You could read about your arms position in some specified literature. There are not so much information about that, but it's plenty useful. So do not forget to use your arms during your public activities. Next point is facial expressions. Yes, of course, your face is a really important part of your public presentation. So as you can see, all times during our lecture, I have a light smile. It's not a fake smile, it's a really smile of pleasure. For me, it's maybe a little bit difficult to tell you all my experience and my skills and information in not my native language, because you remember my native language is Russian language. But anyway, I'm really happy to be here today with you and sharing all that information that I have for some good people. Yeah, that brings me a lot of pleasure. And of course, if you will make a presentation, if you will make some public speech, your facial expression should be the proper one, because if you will tell some fascinating ideas you'd like to sell for other people, and if you explain it like, okay, so here I have some innovation, I'd like to sell that innovation, I'd like to implement it, okay, everybody will see at you and think inside their minds that, oh, no, he's dreadfully boring, he said some nonsense, he hardly believe and in what he talking about, and most of all, there is no self-interest in his words. He's not interested at all what we're talking about, what he's talking about. So please remember every time that your facial expressions are very important. Make a light smile, make some kind flame in your eyes, use some eye blinks, and please not make some sad face, or like it is or like some people from USA say, Russian face. Don't make a Russian face, please, comrades. And also another thing I'd like to tell you, please don't make that Hollywood smile. Hollywood smile for all your teeth, because a Hollywood smile for upper and lower teeth could be considered some persons like, first, act and aggression. It's underconscious. It's from, again, the biological behavior, biological background of being predators, because when predator attacks, he shows you all teeth, and it could be considered like act of aggression. And if you make that Hollywood smile, some people could think that it's a fake smile and you are a liar, so avoid it and use only a light smile. Of course, that's about facial expressions, and let's go further. Eye contact. Eye contact is a pretty important thing for all public communications because all people believe that if you will have eye contact, you could understand thoughts of your opponent. You can understand what he's hiding into his soul. So about eye contact, I understand that from time to time it's a little bit difficult to hold eye contact permanently with all people in auditory in front of stage or all people in some meeting room. So there are 2 or 3 life hacks that I'd like to tell you. First of all, please do not make a permanent eye contact like that, because if you will staring on one or another person, or you will stare directly in their eyes like that, they will feel inconvenience. They will accept it like aggression to their side. So please, from time to time, remove your eyes from side by side. And if you will make a public speech in some big hall with a lot of listeners, a lot of students, you could simply skip your eye direction, like one by one a person in that auditory, or if it's not convenient for yourself, please check walls of auditory for finding some picture, for finding some flower, for finding some bright object. If you will stare on that object a little bit upper the line of head of your listeners, they will consider it like eye contact, but it will not be an eye contact at all. And another life hack from my practice about eye contact, it came from Soviet times. Probably a lot of people here heard about Soviet Special Secret Service, KGB, and KGB from time to time kidnapped people, some dissidents, some oppositioners, for making a hard interrogation for them. And interrogators of KGB made a really hard eye contact with them, and of course they tried to break their will like that. But to avoid that aggressive eye contact, you could simply look for your opponent here, between his eyes. It will seem like you trying to make an eye contact, but it's the side you couldn't catch. You couldn't check person's eyes and their direction if the person making eye contact for you here between your eyes. Okay, that was some funny facts and some stories about eye contact and about Russian past, so we can move forward. Breathing. Breathing is a really important thing too, because a public speaker who looks like a fish removed from water could not be a public speaker at all. His strange breath provides an evidence of his low skills, about evidence, like evidence of his low confidence, and of course, nobody will believe his explanations. So in that case, please breathe deep. Use your nose breathing, not throat and mouth breathing. Use nose breathing because if you use microphone, for example, all your deep breaths from mouth, they will be everybody will hear them. I'm so sorry. So in that case, use nose breathing, or if you want to make a deep breath with your mouth, or maybe you have some troubles with nose breathing, remove a microphone from the side of your mouth. Like, I'd like to tell you something about our troubles. So like this, do not forget about breathing, and for proper posture for breathing, move your shoulders a little bit back. Try to do that. Move your shoulders a little bit back and move your breast a little bit forward. like this, like you are a really proud person. Not in grotesque way, of course, but just a little bit forward, a little bit backward, a little bit forward. So, and try to say something just for yourself. You hear, you have a really deep voice now. You have a deep voice, you have an additional space for oxygen, and from that moment you could speak a lot on one breath. That's a life hack. Please use it in your public presentations. Tempo of speech. Tempo of speech. You know that tempo of speech is pretty critical for some persons because people in world separated in two or maybe three groups. First group prefer low tempo of speech. A second group prefer normal tempo of speech. And the third group prefer tempo of speech like you shooting them with words. You must choose wisely according to your auditory what tempo of speech you should prefer. But as according to my experience, according to my background, it's pretty useful to speak in a middle tempo of speech. But if you want to be a professional public speaker, you could change your tempo from time to time, just to draw attention of people or just to make some relaxation because you will provide them additional time in case of lower tempo to understand what you told them before. So tempo of speech, it's an optional thing, so please follow your auditory reaction and increase or decrease your tempo in a proper way. Well, let's move further. His Majesty voice. Oh yes, the voice is a great majesty. The voice is the main instrument of all public speakers, because without voice it is impossible to make any public speaking activity. And let's talk about our voices. First specification of voice, it's loudness. Loudness is another instrument to drawing attention. If you will feel that people are not so interested in your presentation, and probably they distracted on their phones, or they distracted on some speaking with their neighbors in the lecture hall, you could follow two strategies. First strategy is to make like, so now I will tell you something about really interesting, aren't I? He said loudly, so let's hear him. Or probably, if you want to draw more attention, you could tell something like a little bit lower, like you tell them a secret, like you tell them a great secret that was hidden before. And when you will lower the loudness of your voice, all people should be interested, because he's speaking so softly, it's almost whispering. What does he tell? What's happening? So in that case, please play with your loudness, but don't forget that proper loudness is a really good thing to bring the right point of your idea to your opponent. If you will use the proper loudness on the same level, everybody will understand that you are self-confident, and the loudness of your voice is the best evidence for your mastery. Sorry. Let's move further. Power of your vocal cords. Yeah, I know that some people suffering from case that they have no proper power of their throat, of their vocal cords, and they have, how to say, a weak voice from the nature. But you could train your voice because your vocal cords, they are like muscles and they can be trained. If you want to train your vocal cords, the most useful way to do that is Singing, yeah. Sing like nobody hears you. Maybe you could join some horror. Maybe you could use some singing exercises like warm-upping exercises for vocal cords at home, but on a permanent foundation, and probably 7 times per 1 week for half of an hour every day. And believe me, after 1 month of that practicing, you will not be disappeared. You will discover that your voice become really, really hard and really powerful. So train your vocal cords, train your breathing, add some breath exercises, and you will discover the new characteristics of your own voice. Okay, purity of sound. Purity of sound is another point that I'd like to tell you about. Purity of sound, it's how you pronounce sounds, it's how you pronounce words, it's how you talking. Please avoid that like this. Don't play with saliva in your mouth. It's really disgusting. Please speak clearly, speak loudly, speak without any swallowing of vocals or consonants. Use a clear, a pure quality of your own sound. In that case, my friends, I'd like to share with you one information. You see, here's a cup with some liquid. It's one of the public speaker attributes. Don't use coffee. Don't use tea. Use only still water during your public speaking. You know that if you will use coffee or you will use tea, they will increase the producing of saliva in your mouth, and you will have higher salivation. In that case, your sound will be like you are a 98 aged person with fake teeth, like it's really disgusting to hear. So please use only water and only still water. I believe I should not explain why it's so important to forget about sparkling water. Don't be like a roaring dragon in front of your auditory. Next point is articulation. Yeah, from time to time I meet some public speakers with good voice, good purity of sound, but with really bad articulation. It's pretty difficult to understand what they try to talking about. In that case, train your articulation, because it's a trainable specification of public speaker. Use some speed. I forget that word, my friends. Just if you will give me a moment, you could practice in your articulation with making some tongue twisters. Yeah, I'm sorry, tongue twisters. You have a lot of tongue twisters in all your native languages. We have a lot of tongue twisters in English language. So please practice them. Use the highest level of difficulty, and your articulation will be really good. And another exercise from Russian theater. Yeah, you probably heard about famous Russian theatrical director Konstantin Stanislavski, and he and his comrades invented one funny exercise. Take a wine cork from the bottle, put it in your mouth, push it with your teeth, push it hardly, and after that try to read some text, probably for A4 format of printed text. After that, after you read that text with a cork in your mouth, remove that cork and try to read that text again. Believe me, you will be surprised with your brilliant actor's articulation. Practice this probably 2 times per 1 week, and it will be a really useful and great exercise for making your articulation better. Now let's talk about let's talk about emotions. Yes, emotions. If you will make a public presentation without emotions, you will be like a shadow. You will be like a gray man without any bright sparkles. So if you will watch my public presentation, even right now, I am constantly adding some emotions because I believe that you should not hide your emotions. Emotions is a really important part of our life, and without them, it will be really boring and all colors will disappear. Add emotions to your speech, and if you will show your true emotions, not fake emotions, only true emotions, like you're really happy, you are really overexcited, all people will value that. They will understand that, okay, that public speaker, he believed in his subject, he believed in his ideas, we should follow him. So please add emotions, and don't forget to do it constantly. And abdominal muscles, that's the really important point. So ladies and gentlemen, remember now, opera singers, pretty big people, right? Big people with a lot of fat in case of their aged opera singers. But could you remember their voice? It's really mighty. It's really breathtaking. It's unbelievable. And where this voice coming from? Oh, I will tell you. In case of that, they have a really good and well-trained abdominal muscles at their bellies. Because if you will try the next thing, you can tell without muscle tension, and it will be like my normal sound. But try to make a huge tension to your abdominal muscles, and believe me, your voice will be deeper, your voice will be softer, your voice will be more attractive. So train your abdominal muscles, my friends. It will bring you a new voice, a totally new voice. And another thing, when you have tension here in abdominal muscles, it once more increases your level of self-confidence because some chemical things starting to provide with our brain and our blood in case of abdominal muscle tension. It's some thing from neuroregulation. So I will not explain that because I'm not a biologist or professor in chemistry, but please believe me. So let's move further. We finished with His Majesty voice and my own and personal life hacks, that I've discovered during my professional activity like a public speaker. So, sorry, 1 second. I must change the presentation. Sorry. Okay, I'm here again. Sorry for that distraction, but that was the reboot of your attention and a little distraction. Okay, first life hack. Storytelling. Why is it so important? I am not using storytelling right now because we have not much time during our online meeting. But storytelling is a really good thing to make a connection with your auditory in front of you. You know that from time to time stories, they are keys for people's souls. If you will tell them a good and funny story, probably it could be a story from your own life and from your own experience. This story should be somehow related with the subject you are discussing for. Probably it could be a story of your friend. Or probably it could be a story of your friend, but you will pretend that it's your own story. So do a little trick with your listeners. Don't forget that telling stories is a really good point for public speaker. It will enrich your speech, and of course everything will be more brighter with stories. Okay, let's go further. And interesting about boring. What exactly does it mean? If you will tell people some boring facts, some diagrams, some strange things, they are not informed well, they could be bored. Please add some interesting points to your lecture, to your presentation. So even if you will speak about some quantum physics or highest mathematics, you could use jokes. You could use some funny pictures in your presentations. You could use some funny stories again, maybe some funny facts about some great people, which activities is related with the subject you are talking about. Okay, friends, may I take only 1 minute break because it's a really important call from my another activity of job. Please, if you have some questions, put them in our translation chat. I will be here in 1 moment. Please do not switch your Zoom. Okay, wait a second. Okay, friends, I'm here once again. I'm sorry for that break. Some troubles with maintenance on my another flat. So, interesting about boring, I explained about that. And find the keys to your listeners. Yeah, find the keys to your listeners. If you will come to some auditory, you will find that there are a lot of interesting persons here. Probably you never met them before. But you could ask from the organizer of your lecture or your another public speaking activity some small summary about people that are invited to that lecture. So please use that summary, use that small facts about them. Probably one of those listeners is I don't know, he's a qualified gym and fitness instructor. So you could add some facts and some points in your lecture about that, about his professional activity, and etc., etc. Make a good connection to all people and let them believe that you are really interested to make some kind of closest connection, and you'd like to know all about them, because you know all people are really interested in one thing: to make a conversation about themselves. So provide them that possibility. talk a little bit about them, and they will be really pleased. Engage them, of course. Engaging of auditory to your speech is a pretty good method of making your lecture somehow interactive. It's hard to make here in online regime, but of course you could use it during your public activity in lectures at university, at business meetings, or other things. The simplest way to engage auditory to your activity is to asking questions. Just okay, so now I will tell you something about public activity, and tell me the most dreadful case of your public activity. Anybody wants? And okay, you will find some, maybe one or two or three or more persons who will share with you their worst and dreadfulest case of public activities. And after these cases, you could go further and, for example, explain something about removing anxiety or removing some stressful moments, etc., etc. So engage people, ask them questions, provide them some activities and exercises, and it will be really useful for your public practicing. And of course, be a chameleon, be a mirror. What does it mean? If you make a presentation for a couple of people, for example, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 persons, you could be a mirror. So what does it mean? You could use the same words they are using. You could copy their postures. You could copy their gestures. And nobody will accept these actions like some trickery, like some offense. No, don't do this in a grotesque way. Do it softly, like your potential business partner make something like he pushed his hair. Do the same thing. Do the same scene in 5 seconds. Push your hair too. It's all about our biology. It's all about the behavior. It's all about some communication rituals amongst the mammals, amongst the predators. You will show them that you are the same person, you are the same man, you act like themselves, and it will be really useful for your business because they will believe you in all points. So be a mirror, be a chameleon. It's another trick. And of course, the name is the sweetest sound. Remember that the most sweetest sound in the world for every person, it's their name. So please, my friends, do not forget to remember all names of your opponents, of your auditory, of your partners, and please, when you tell something to them, say their names as often as it's possible and as it's proper. They will be really pleased for that. Oh, okay, that was all my life hacks. And before we follow some small exercises, I'd like to know, probably you have some questions, you have some points that you'd like to discuss with me, because we have according to my clocks 20 minutes. You could ask them by sound, or you could ask them like in chats. Oh, okay. If you have any questions, you could put on mic or on text in our chat. So if anybody wants to ask a question, please do that. Of course, please ask. Mhm. So, my friends, please think about your questions now a little bit, and probably you could put your questions in our chat, and I will tell you a little bit exercises that could be useful for your skills, for your training like a public speaker. First, tongue twisters. Tongue twisters is a really good thing to improve your articulation, improve your purity of sound. That's just the most spread samples of English tongue twisters, but you could also use tongue twisters from your own language, of course. For me, it's really interesting to find some questions, some tongue twisters from Asia. I never met them in internet, so probably in one day I will try to read some Asian tongue twisters. Okay, that's about tongue twisters, and here we come for gibberish. Gibberish, it's a completely no sense in one text. So here is an exercise for you. If you want to improve your level of self-confidence, find some gibberish generator in internet and add some news article to that generator. And after that, try to read that article with all sense, with all serious mood, and of course, like you make a public presentation. So it's like American hour and safety COVID-19 pair of expanding their of then families to insurance with the economic to Americans for federal workers by execution Friday will sign a restaurant will qualify for unemployment national mining neutrality. Total gibberish. Those words sometimes are not existing, but please use that gibberish exercise for increasing your level of self-confidence. Okay, that's about gibberish. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, here is a question from our listeners. I will skip one explanation of exercise because I'd like to answer the question. How to improve the atmosphere in a proper way when the speaker is so nervous? Okay, anxiety in front of your auditory, it's okay. Everyone has an anxiety. Everyone have some nerves, and okay, it's a little bit frightening to be a public speaker. But if you want to put a good atmosphere, if you want to make some connection to the people, you could be honest. If it's proper, of course, you can simply say, okay, friends, I'm feeling a little bit nervous today. It's a little bit frightening to be a public speaker in front of you. So please make some applauses when I have some breaks in my public speaking. So, for example, you make a public speaking, and after some words, you a little bit nervous, and you make a break like. Okay, so ask people in that moment to brave you, to make some courage for you. They could cry like, okay, do it, tell us. Oh, make some applauses. It's the simplest way. Or you can improve atmosphere with making some engagement of people in auditory to your speech. So, for example, simply ask them questions. Ask them questions just from the beginning. You will explain some science subject, and your first question could be, so guys, what do you think about that science subject? Have you heard some theories about that? Have you heard some facts, etc., etc.? It will improve the atmosphere. They will be engaged, and they will be interested. So that's the point. let's move further. I hope I will. I hope I asked you answered your question. Oh, thank you too. Next point is. Okay, that's another sample of gibberish. And exercise 3, it's 30 seconds filler free. What does it mean? A lot of public speakers use that fillers like la, la, let me think, you know, etc. There are a lot of fillers. Those fillers are not so good for your public speaking. They make your speech dirty and not so interesting that it could be without them. So just simply start the timer. For the beginning, 30 seconds will be enough, and try to make an improvisation without fillers. Like, I will show you. Hello, everybody. My name is Stanislav Mushtalov. I'm 32 years old, and I'm a professional host here in Smara, Russia. My sphere of professional interests are weddings, corporative events, celebrations, and, of course, some international events. Okay, I'm loose. I used the filler, so it's not so easy as it could be on the first sight. So practice this filler-free exercise. Increase your time from 30 seconds to 10 minutes probably, and you will be a really skillful public speaker. Next point is something you don't love. It's a kind of kids exercise, but it could be useful even for grown-ups. How it could be? From time to time, I'm making some small public speaking training for kids, and I ask them, like, so children, tell me about something you don't love. And they said, like, I don't love porridge. I don't love my teacher. I don't love my friend. He's so rude, or something like that. After they share that information to me, I said, okay, so I wrote down all your points, and now you say that you don't love porridge, okay? Okay, so now please tell me about that porridge, but with all passion, with all love, and with all interest. Just try to do that. Tell somebody about about something you don't love totally, but with all love and courage, without all excitement. And believe me, it will improve your improvisator skill and your skill like a public actor. And exercise 5, where did that name come from? For that exercise, you will need to activate your video camera at smartphone. You know that it's really useful even for professional public speakers to use video cameras for making record of their action at stage. And after that, when they see that record, they will understand what were my weak points, how could I improve my weak points, etc., etc. So, for example, use your camera, activate it, and after that, find some item near you. For example, for me, it's a fountain pen. I found that fountain pen here near me, and now I need to tell everybody something about that item. Where did item come from? So this is a good fountain pen, Mark LEC. It's from Germany, and other things. So you need to create the story of that item, like in improvisation way. And after that, you will cut the tape of your record, rewind it, and take a close look to your acting with that item. And after that, you will understand your weak points, your filler words, or maybe points that you are not so good enough. And please make a self-feedback and work on it with all interest and heart. Okay, that's what about our exercises. And here you can see the small list of useful literature that I created for you. I hope that our international school will share that presentation for everybody. There are name of books and their authors. I can say that those books could be really useful even for the beginner and of course for a profi public speaker. So find those books, read them, and they will serve a good service for everybody here in our online conversation, in our public speaking course. Okay, I believe that I share all information with you for this day. It was a really brief course of public speaking, but I hope soon I could create some really detailed course for every trouble, like for nonverbal communication, for your self-confidence or other things. You can see my contacts here in the down of the page, my email, phone number, and of course Telegram. I'm user of Telegram Messenger, so if you will have some questions, please do not be shy and ask me in Messenger. I will respond you as soon as it's possible. So, dear friends, if you have some questions right now, please, you could use your microphones and ask me, or you could use our chat, and I will gladly respond you and answer all things that you are worried about. Okay, I'll stop the demonstration now for case of your questions. Okay. So you could use the chat, or you could use the voice, your microphones, please. I'm really interested. You know, one of my professors during my students' year said like that. If there are no questions in the end of the lecture, there could be two ways. Way first, everybody understands everything. Way second, nobody understands nothing. So I hope that it is a first way that everybody understands everything I talk today.
Hello, dear sir. Hello, dear sir. I heard you that you mentioned the humor. You say we should add humor when we give a speech, but you know, the humor are pretty different in different culture, like Asia culture and Europe culture. That is kind of different. And I actually live in China, and I never been abroad, so I'm pretty curious if you know the humor, the difference of humor between East culture and West culture.
Okay, I understand that question. You know, it's a question of cross-culture communication. So let me tell you one story from being a facility interpreter at Renault-Nissan Alliance. I was a personal assistant near the body parts engineers. They were from Japan, Kyo Shimoe and Chiyama Tamoja, and once upon a time, it was a huge meeting amongst Russian part of facility and French and Japanese and even Korean part, because we have a lot of guys from Samsung Motors too. And one of Japanese specialists said he said some joke. He said some joke that could be understandable only for probably a native speaker in Japan, but it's hardly understandable for people from West and even from, I think so, Korea. But my question for everybody from Russian side was like, okay, friends, so my specialist now tell a joke, so could you please be so kind and make a laugh now to make him nice and pleasant, and all people make and he was really pleased. So it's just a small story, a small humorous story about cross-cultural communication. So you could act in that way, or you could make a preliminary preparation for your speech, and probably find some jokes, find some humorous memes or something like that from the culture of people that you would like to make a presentation before. So preliminary preparation is one of the most important things in cross-cultural presenting. Use it, and everybody will be pleased by your jokes.
Yes, thanks a lot.
Thank you to my friend. Thank you for your question. Okay, dear friends, any other questions?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but a little bit hardly.
Because I will return home from the company.
Dear friend, it's not. It's a very low quality of voice. So if it will not be so difficult for you, could you write down your question? Could you write it down in chat, because it's almost impossible to hear.
Hospital today to get my.
I'm so sorry, I can't hear you. It's a really bad quality of voice. A lot of distraction, a lot of.
So could you maybe my example is not very good.
Sir, I am sorry, but I can't understand what you're talking. It's a bad quality of voice. Probably you could text me in chat. I will ask. I will respond you. Okay, friends, I'm so sorry. The quality of connection is not always good, so it's hard to understand what some people want to ask from me by microphone, by voice. So not be shy to use our chat. It's pretty convenient to ask questions with using that tool in Zoom. Oh, okay. I have to go to the hospital today to get my nucleic acid test report, because I will return home from the company tomorrow. My question is that the beginning of a speech is very important in my opinion. I usually start by talking about some common topics with the other party to warm up that speech. I wonder if there is any better way for you to do it. Yeah, you know, some side parts of topics are really useful. It could make a good warm-up for your auditory, but if you are in some strict borders of time, if you have not enough time, only 1 hour and a half, you must use all time properly. So there is not so much time for some small talk and side conversations. If you want, you could start immediately from your topic, but after that, add some storytelling in your public present, in your public talking. So start from the sense, start from the main subject, and after that engaging people to your speech, like asking questions, asking them to tell some stories somehow related with that subject. Like, for example, you tell something about your I don't know, about some, you make a presentation about some hospitals or something like that. Just for example, presentation about hospitals. And you start from your presentation, you tell some key points, and after that you will ask people something like, okay, friends, so tell me about your most funniest visit to hospital. Probably you saw some strange people or strange doctors or something like that. It's very rude sample, but storytelling and engagement people in storytelling is pretty useful. As for my opinion, you could say okay or not, but as for me, I prefer those two strategies. First is like you described, common topics or other party to warm up the people, and second is engagement with storytelling and engagement with questions. That's my way to warm up the auditory and to remove all barriers between listeners and speaker. I hope I answered your question. Okay, so dear friends, thanks a lot, sorry for the bad internet. You're welcome. The bad internet is our worst enemy. So, dear friends, our time is coming to an end. In that case, I'd like to say thank you. Thanks everybody here for being good listeners. Thanks for your questions. And more speaking, if you want to contact me using Telegram Messenger, don't be shy. I will respond your answers, or your questions. Sorry, I will respond your questions, and we will try to find some good points together. Okay, thanks for your attention, and forgive me for from time to time bad English. It was a big pleasure to make a presentation for you. I hope we will meet again soon. That International School of Samara University. My name is Stanislav Mushtalov. Bye. See you later.
Thank you. Goodbye.